Hey homeschool friends, welcome to the video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Bravewriter. You guys, I have been getting so many questions over the past couple of months as I've been tentatively sharing about Bravewriter and how I want to kind of weave it into our homeschool. So now I am a researcher by nature. And so I kind of deep dived into the whole Bravewriter program this past summer to try and really understand it, to try and understand how I could use it for my kids. Now, mind you, I am really interested in the writing aspect of the Bravewriter program, which is really the core of the program, to be honest. There's been many reasons I've shied away from kind of the full program in the past, but I just decided I wanted to check it all out. And so in this video, I am going to try to explain Bravewriter the way I understand it to you all, because I wish I would have watched a video like this that really just broke it all down. Because on one hand, I feel like it's so complex and so kind of hard to understand, but on the other hand, it's pretty straightforward. So let's just dive in. Let's dive into the Bravewriter program, as well as all the different resources I have picked up this year to test it out, to really get a feel for the program. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you've been coming for a while. Like I said, this video is going to be all about Bravewriter. All the different resources I have picked up, I'm going to take you through them. I'm going to chat about how the program, I believe, is intended to be used. I mean, I have always been drawn to a more natural style of teaching language arts. And I do use a number of other programs, so go check out my channel, especially maybe my update videos, if you are curious about what some of those other programs are. But as for Bravewriter products, I picked up the year-long Dart. So I picked it up this June when it was on sale for a number of reasons. One of them was I really wanted access to the Brave Learner Home, which I'll explain a little bit more about later. But I then get 9 darts, one a month. And so I've signed up for the year-long Dart. I have previously purchased Jot It Down. I think I purchased it like 4 years ago. So you guys, I've always been drawn to Bravewriter. It's just been hard for me to figure out how to implement. So I have Jot It Down, and I also picked up Partnership Writing this year. So this is kind of the next step up in the writing program. So these are 2 examples of the writing programs. And then I did pick up this one, which is probably what I'm most excited about and what I'm using the most currently. That is the new book by Julie Bogart, Growing Brave Writers, a friendly guide to writing with kids. So let me explain all of these and how they all connect in hopefully a way you all can understand. And so really there are 3 arms or 3 points in a triangle, however you want to put it. There's 3 main aspects of the program. First being this one, which is I think the one that's the least understood. So this is the Growing Brave Writers program. This is what helps build original thought in writing. And from reading through it, it seems like it really helps hone just the writer's craft, just the ability to have confidence in your writing and teaching your kids to do that. So there's this, which is kind of the backbone of the program. And then there are the writing projects. And so I have 2 of those programs. Like I said, I have Jot It Down. This is for 5 to 8-year-olds. So this is just the first level. It's very simple. It's a lot of jotting it down. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but there's really 10 projects. They're geared to be monthly projects that you really take your time on. And then I also have Partnership Writing, which is for ages 9 to 10. And there's 10 projects in this as well. And so those are examples of projects, like not really writing prompts, but more writing projects, so the kids are actively writing things. They're actively using their skills, pen to paper sort of idea. Okay, so that's 2 areas. And then the third is the mechanics and literature. And that comes through darts for at least the age of my kids. There's also arrows, boomerangs, slingshots. It goes up in age. So the darts I think are geared towards 8 to 10-year-olds. I'm holding up one of this year's, which was our favorite, which might have tipped me over into purchasing the year-long program. And that was Otter by Catherine Applegate. It's a verse novel about an otter, and it was fantastic. So we did this in August, but this is an example of the tool in the Bravewriter program that teaches mechanics. So you're talking like grammar, sentence structure, literary devices, things like that, through literature, through reading novels. And so in this case, it was Otter, which I'll put a picture up of the book because we just got the book from the library. But it's really these things together that make up a full Bravewriter curriculum. So let's dive into each part of these, and I can hopefully explain what I have learned so far about them. And I think I will flip the camera around so I can take you through it at least a little bit. I'm going to take you first through growing brave writers because I believe this is really the heart of the program. I think you could probably use this alone, honestly. If you're the type of teacher who loves to kind of create their own assignments, use books you're currently reading, I'm not really that teacher. I struggle with that. I love the idea of that, but I'm not that teacher. But this really is a powerful tool. So it really starts with a couple basic things. The natural stage of growth in writing, ages 0 to 21, is probably the most helpful place to start, at least, because it helps you assess where your child is honestly at. Because say for instance, my daughter is 8. So those programs, when you're talking Jot It Down and partnership writing as well as the DART, she's kind of in between. So she could kind of fall on either side of that. And if I went just by her age, I think I would end up with a program that she's not quite ready for. And so what I do is I have read this chapter a number of times to really assess where she is naturally at. And then I've been able to follow my son, who is a little older. He's 9.5, and I've been able to see him go through these stages, like the Jot It Down stage into the partnership writing stage, where I can see where he starts taking the pencil. He starts wanting to write it a little bit more on his own. He's not quite so fearful of that or just pushes back the way he used to. And I'm like, oh, you have definitely entered this next stage. So I love this section of the Growing Brave Writers program. And then it goes through a number of other things, some just Brave Writer lifestyle stuff, which is wonderful. You're talking poetry, tea time, art, music, movies, oral language, just things like that that is just very enriching, that can really support a writer and give them language and things to talk about. So I think that is really key there. And then what I love is even in this natural stages of growth, it tells you how far your kiddo can go. So if, say, I have a partnership writing child, they probably can use up through chapter 7, but not really into the revising and editing and all of those things. That comes later, and allowing that to come later. I really like just understanding that and just digging into some of the content Julie has in this book to understand that, like, they don't need these sections of editing yet. They will grow into that, and just to let him be where he's at. So there's some things we do in the meantime. Talk about a communication game. I'll flip to that because that was a really good one. And so I don't want to show you everything in here, obviously, but I really did like this first game, and it did say all participants. I actually had all 4 of my kids do this game with me, where it had a lot of, like, you are drawing something on a whiteboard. You have 2 kids kind of back to back. One's drawing on a whiteboard, and then they have to describe the drawing they made. Like, for instance, they have a couple examples here. Like, they have to describe the drawing they made on the whiteboard, and they have to use their words to say what they drew enough so that the person that's back to back with them can draw it on their whiteboard, only based on their descriptions. And it really just teaches the kids the power of words and precise words, saying exactly what you mean, and helping them see, like, when they view what their sibling drew, they're like, oh, that's not what I meant at all. And then you can backtrack and be like, well, you did say this, and that could be interpreted a lot of different ways. And so just like clarity in writing, I feel like this game is fun. You can do it at so many different levels, and you can come back to it. That's another thing I really appreciate about this program. It's not just like first grade program and then you're done. It's a program that you keep coming back to, and there's a lot of richness in it that you can grow with as your kids get older. Like, a 5-year-old's gonna appreciate this game, but a 10-year-old's gonna get more out of it, if that makes sense. And so there's a communication game, and then there's another keen observation that talks more about, like, details, and then you get into, like, a grammar, punctuation, and spelling. So what I like about this is what I feel like the darts, arrows, boomerangs, slingshots represent in the Brave Writer program. But say you don't want to go that way, or you don't want to read those literature books. You want to use the books you are currently planning on reading in your homeschool. This chapter can really help you set up almost your own DART. Or at least that's my opinion of it when I was reading through it, is that there's so much taught in here, but that is also kind of the core behind their mechanics and literature bundles. And so I loved that. And then it gets into free writing. And I really liked this. This is currently where I am with my son, but my daughter's not ready for this, but we'll get to this soon. And so I feel like this is kind of the heart behind how a kid feels confident and comfortable with their own thoughts and getting their own thoughts on paper in a way that is not scary, or it's less scary, I guess. And they can practice it and just see the value in their own thoughts and their own experiences and how they can get those thoughts, emotions, all the things onto paper. Now, there's no prompts. Like I said, this is not a writing prompt type program. There's no prompts in here. Those projects come in that other program. And so let me just shift to that for now, but just so you know, I really like this. It almost feels like more of a guide for me. How can I be a writing guide or advocate or ally for my child in their writing life? How can I help them? So to switch gears into the writing program, so I just put them back into my binder here. I know a lot of people will spiral bind all of their programs, but I just put it in a Bravewriter 3-ring binder just so that I could keep track of it all, and I'm not too worried about it. So I have jotted down here, and again, this is stage 1 of writing, and this is geared towards 5 to 8-year-olds. And all of these, here's the table of contents, all of these programs start with introductory pages that really get you understanding kind of the bigger picture of where you're going with this program, especially jotted down, which can be hard to understand because the main premise is that you are writing for your kids. You are capturing their thoughts. You are helping them see value in their stories. Like if they narrate something back to you, or if they tell you a story about the book they're listening to, you can write that down and write their words down and then read it to someone else potentially, and that could help just validate their inner voice and things like that. So this is jotted down. I didn't print all of it, so I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'll show you the first project because I think that's available to download. And so the first project is a fairy tale project, and it's just really a cute one. It's basically where you read a fairy tale and then you have your kids narrate. It's an oral narration project. They narrate and they illustrate their own little book. Like you can buy those little blank books, which is what I think I did. I bought them from Target, and they can narrate a fairy tale to you. And this you can stretch out over a long period of time, or you can do one a month just to keep adding to it. And so I love this project idea. And now there's other project ideas as well. Like there's an art appreciation project, there's some photo journal projects, there's an animal mini book, which I think my kids are gonna really like. Just this idea of you create things and you're using language, you're using words, you're just practicing and getting more comfortable with it. And now partnership writing is for 9 to 10-year-olds, and it starts with a lot of the same kind of information about kind of a Bravewriter lifestyle, some sample routines, and then here's the program. And it has, the first one is secret codes, and then it goes on and there's another mini book, a homophone mini book, and there's an imaginary continent or island chain. And so in these, they're being creative and they're creating these things, but then they have to label stuff. It's almost like teaching writing through fun. They're enjoying developing their own island, and now they just have to label things and describe things and write a key, all these ideas that keeps them realizing that there's other ways to write than just say like a descriptive paragraph prompt or something like that. And so there's a lot of fun things here. I'm just going to go to secret codes because I believe, again, that's the one that's in the download. Again, it's intended to be a monthly project. Like you do a little bit every week, but you can do things how you want, in my opinion. You can do it all in one week if you wanted to really just deep dive into this, or you could stretch it out. Every week has just these fun ways of playing with words and teaching writing in kind of bite-sized pieces. So this is the first project, which is secret codes looks like, and then there's all these planners and schedulers that you can use to really help you organize the project and keep good records of the project. Now, in my opinion, I feel like there's really two ways to use this program. I feel like you can either be all in, you could do one a month for the whole year and you gain skills and confidence to move on to the next writing stage. Then the projects, what I love about them is you can tweak them to use them again. You can make a different kind of mini book, or you could make an imaginary island instead of an imaginary continent, or you could do a Greek myth instead of a tall tale. So you can play around with it and just present the same idea in a different way to give them more practice. So I feel like the information is all here. You do have to be a little bit more creative in how you use it. It's not as open and go as other curriculums, but that's kind of the beauty of it, is you get the chance to really individualize it for yourself and your kids. So those are the writing programs. You can see how this is more original thought. It's more getting kind of ideas on paper. And this is kind of funneling those ideas into actual projects. And you can see they're not huge paragraph writing projects yet. You're really still just gaining confidence in writing and really hearing your kids' inner writing voice. So to moving on to DART. So this is the third arm of this whole Bravewriter program. And this is where you tackle kind of words. This is how you tackle important grammar and sentence structures and even literary devices. It's where you tackle literature. So you're reading books and you're talking about those books. And so you're kind of analyzing things. You're really digging into it and you're using beautiful passages to do that. You're using excellent writing to teach how to set up a sentence, how to set up a paragraph, and things like that. But what I love about these darts is they are fun. That is what I really enjoy about just Julie Bogart's. The way she teaches is she teaches in a fun way. And so you can, yes, be learning about commas or something in your dart, or conjunctions or parentheses or apostrophes or lyrical language, and verse novels is a literary device. You can be learning about all of these things, but you do it in a really fun way. I'm not going to give you a full look through of a dart. I feel like there's other people who have done that on YouTube, but what I really enjoy about it is I enjoy how fun it is. I enjoy that you have beautiful writing. This is week 1 copy work, and then it says like what to note about this passage, and you're not really supposed to do it all. And so I would just kind of make notes as to what day of the week I was planning on talking about stanzas or italics or apostrophes. And then it talks about doing the copy work. It talks about teaching a little bit more of this passage, to go deeper into plural nouns, to talk about verse novels, which again we're going to explore more at the end. There's a whole section of this dart that goes into verse novels. But here's just a little bit to kind of talk to your kids about, to get them excited about just this different type of writing. And then there's always a spotlight grammar. So in this case, it was punctuation, parentheses, and there's a little activity. So no, there are not worksheets. No, it is not set up for you. It's not open and go. But it is really fun. And I think that's the beauty of it, because it's still teaching in a very age-appropriate way some of these concepts. And if you do enough of these darts, like if you are able to do Otter, and then the Heartwood Hotel, and what else do I have? And the Girl Who Stole an Elephant, and Raw the Mighty Cat Detective. Those are the ones we have so far. If you do all of these, enough of these concepts will kind of spiral back around that your kids can keep practicing. Even though there's not like a worksheet to do it, you keep talking and you keep practicing, and they will learn it at their level. And so again, I feel like this can be used in 2 main ways, at least in my opinion. You can be, again, all in and do one of these a month for the whole year. And then, like I said, you will spiral through a lot of these different concepts again and again. And it will teach your kids, and it will solidify these ideas. Or you can use it as a supplement for another program. And it will bring unique and fun ways to approach like grammar and sentence structure. So maybe you are teaching commas, and you can come to the dart and you can be like, oh, that's right, that's how the dart teaches commas. Maybe I'll bring some of that fun into what we are doing for this grammar program or whatever. And so there's just a lot here. And on top of it, I didn't even talk about like these big juicy questions and book parties. There's just a lot of delight and fun. So I'm going to flip back around and kind of end the video, but I hope this was a good little look through of at least the resources I have picked up for the age of my kids. But again, I have picked up the entire program, if you will, what you could use as an entire and complete language arts program. Okay guys, so I hope that actually was understandable. Like I said, it feels very complex, but yet it seems also very simple and straightforward. And there's so many things that I am drawn to in this program. There are so many ways I would like to use it, and I'm still working out how I'm going to use it for my kids. So maybe I'll do an update video later in the year as to how I actually used all of these products, because there's a lot here and I feel like I don't have to use it all. Like I was saying, I feel like I can take a lot of things from this. I can grow as a teacher because, like I mentioned, there's this thing called Brave Learner Home, which is just this big community of people, and there's master classes and there's just different teachings that can help you understand how best to use copywork or what are some good dictation techniques. There's lots of that within the Brave Learner Home, which I just really appreciate. So all in all, I've loved kind of researching and deep diving into Bravewriter and assessing how I can make it kind of mix and match with the curriculum I already have, because I love the curriculum I have. It is also a natural way of approaching language arts. And so, yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this was helpful and understandable, because it can be a little hard. And again, I haven't used it for very long, so this is not me speaking out of experience. Please know that. This is me kind of giving you my first impressions on what I have found while researching Bravewriter. So that's what I have, you guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to. But otherwise, you guys, I will see you in the next homeschool video. All right, take care.